Greetings, one and all, and welcome back to the Awaken to Ascend YouTube channel. It's a bright sunny day, but don't let it fool you. It's been raining nonstop, even though there's no clouds. Even though there's no sun, it just stopped raining. How does that, right? There is sun. Even though there's no clouds, it just stopped raining. Explain that to me. Yeah, I mean, I could deal with any kind of weather. It's when the weather doesn't make up its mind that I get a little triggered. It's like, which one are you doing? Choose one. Obviously, I'm personifying Gaia, right? And I'm like, you know, Gaia does whatever she wants. I don't care anymore. It's just, it's a trigger. It's a shadow. I don't know. Maybe I don't like indecision. Maybe there's some healing I could do on that. It's all coming out. Are you guys checking out the blog on my website? Because you should be. If you haven't, I really do appreciate you guys checking out these videos, and I hope that you enjoy these videos. But if you're more of a fan of the written word, or you like to read stuff, I've got some stuff for you to read. I keep it short so that you don't lose attention span. I know how it is these days. And yeah, check out the blog. There's a little blog tab on my website. You won't regret it. I like to keep them fresh and interesting. So yeah, check those out if you haven't already. Thank you. Let's get into what we're talking about today, which is the Clairs. No, this is not a group of women named Claire. These are the psychic Clair abilities, which I believe every single human being on this planet possesses. I believe that at our core, all of us are psychic. We all have psychic abilities. We all have the 5 main ones within us. It's just that usually they're dormant, they're not as strong, they're not as powerful. Usually most people have one very strong Clair, and the rest are there, but they're not as powerful. That's usually how it works until a person really starts to develop them, really starts to understand them, and really starts to get into them, and they start unlocking their abilities and activating their etheric DNA. But the problem is most people aren't aware that they have psychic ability. They just don't know. No one told them. Another problem is, like, you know, Hollywood portrays psychic ability so just weird. So weird. It obviously it's intended to get you to think a certain way about psychic ability. Like you're supposed to like use it to get the lotto numbers or whatever. You gotta go like this. That's how you know you're being psychic, right? It's so stupid. Guys, let me tell you, if Hollywood portrays something, it's stupid. Okay? There's no thing that's not stupid that they do. You know, it's designed to get you to think that it's a cuckoo thing that only weirdos who are trying to scam people do, right? So it's trying to create a narrative that's not true. The truth is we all are psychic. A lot of people will get a gut feeling. They don't know what it means, and they just ignore it, and they forget about it, and then they lose their opportunity to follow their intuition. That's how it works for a lot of people. But yeah, that's not how it works for us, is it? Right? I'm sure a lot of you are fully aware of your psychic abilities. We're getting in the weeds now, and it's all wet. Let's go this way. I'm sure a lot of you are already knowledgeable about your psychic ability, but if you're not, let's talk about the 5 main Clairs. There are 5 main types of psychic ability. Beneath each one, there's hundreds of thousands of subcategories. And when the truth is told, if there's 8 billion people on this planet, there's 8 billion different psychic abilities. Each one is unique for each of us. We are so unique, folks. My psychic ability is not going to work like yours. If 2 clairvoyants won't have the same psychic ability, right? But most psychic abilities fall under the 5 categories. So let me get my list out so I don't forget. Okay, let's talk about clairalience first. This is the ability to smell stuff that other people can't smell. Right, a lot of times it'll be cologne or a perfume or cigarette smoke, and that's how you know a spirit's nearby or a message is coming in. We'll wait for this plane to pass. Whenever a plane flies that low, I just want to shoot at it. I don't know. Is that a dark idea, a dark thought? Okay, now I'm back in the weeds again. Where am I going? So you start talking and you don't know where you're headed. Get my socks all wet. So yeah, clairalience, smelling stuff. It's cool. And then beneath that category, I'm sure there's different ways to experience your clairaudience. You can, I don't know, maybe you smell food, and that's how you know. I don't know. I've never really tapped into that part of me. Actually, one time I did tap into clairaudience. I was laying in my bed doing a meditation, and I smelled he was smoking fake weed, that K2 stuff. It has a certain smell to it. And I was hanging out with this guy like 3 hours earlier, and I did a meditation, tapped into his energy, and I could smell his smoke. So yes, I have experienced the clairaudience. All right, let's go to number 2. Clairsentience. This is when you feel stuff in your body. This is the stomach feeling, right? A lot of people feel it in their stomach. They get just a gut feeling. And that's because our guts are a computer. Our guts are one of our centers, are one of our psychic centers. And we feel a lot through our gut. We should, at least, if everything's working. And so, yeah, this will be a feeling. You might get itchy, your hair might fall out. And once you figure out that you're clairsentient, like, you can start decoding these things. You can start to say, oh man, I got a weird thing in my ankle. That must mean it's, danger ahead, right? It's all a practice, right? You got to practice. You got to learn how to interpret these messages and these smells and these feelings. And it's a long thing. Well, let's go to the next one. Clairaudience. That should be a no-brainer. This is when you hear stuff that other people cannot hear. You might hear songs. You might hear 4D. When I hear 4D, it's like a little, it's like bells. It's like a song with bells. Let's see, like you could hear maybe people talking. You could hear spirits talking perhaps, and maybe you can hear your higher self. This is a really common one, I feel like. People just hear stuff. All right, and of course, as always, there's subcategories to all of these. I encourage you to do your own research. I keep putting the thing away. Clairvoyance. This is when you see stuff. This is the one that everyone wants to have. This is the one that Hollywood portrays. You close your eyes and your third eye shows you an image or a movie, and you get to watch the pictures and interpret the pictures. And I think this is the one that most people want. This is the one that's most in popular culture. And this is the one that, I don't know, if people strive for, I guess. This is the one they know about, so like, I gotta work on my clairvoyance, right? The word clairvoyance is almost a substitute for psychic ability in our modern day. So yeah, this is when you close your eyes and you just see, maybe people see stuff with their eyes open, but you see stuff that other people don't see. You can see the past maybe, you can see the future. Your past self, your future self, I don't know. There are no limitations. The last one, and my favorite, because it's my strongest ability, is claircognizance. This is when you just know stuff. You don't know why you know it. You don't know how you know it. Not sure if it's true, but you know it, right? And for a long time, let's get personal on this. For a long time, when I figured out it was claircognizance, I was kind of bummed. I was like, man, I just know stuff? That's not fun. Like, I wanted to be clairvoyant. These guys are watching movies, they're seeing stuff, they can see the demons, they can see the higher selves, they can see all the spirits. And I was a little jealous, to be honest. But I turned a corner recently. I was thinking about this. It's like, okay, I'm claircognizant. That means I just know truth without a shadow of a doubt. That means that I can just act on my psychic messages. I don't have to think about it. Clairaudient people, they have to interpret the noises. Clairvoyant people have to interpret their visions. Well, what happens when you start interpreting? Well, you use the ego for that. Well, now your messages are getting muddled with ego, and you're acting on ego. Oops, that's not great. But with the claircognizance, I just know. I don't have to interpret. I just act on what I know, and I can't make a mistake. As long as I'm acting on my truth, right? I can't make a mistake. There's no room for error because there's no ego. So now I'm like, well, wait a second, I got the best one. I got the one that's going to guide me perfectly. I got the one where I can't mess it up. Now, a problem, I don't know if you could call it a problem, but an issue with the psychic abilities is that for a long time, when you start to get them online and start to work with them and start to use them to your advantage, well, for a long time, it's going to seem like your imagination. You're going to feel that this is your imagination. You're just making this stuff up. And I don't blame you. It's weird. It makes no logical sense whatsoever. And there's going to be a period of time when, as you're experimenting with your abilities, that you just don't believe it. Like you'll try it out, right? You'll do the meditations, but you don't really believe it until you act on it the first time and you take a risk and act on your psychic hit. And it turns out to be true. And you're like, oh, well, that was a coincidence. I guess I just figured it out with my ego. But then you do it again and it turned out to be true. And you do it again and it turned out to be true. You just build confidence. And one day you just are like, you know what? There's no question about this. This is psychic ability. When it's been true 100 times, there's no more questioning. There's no more doubt. And that's where you need to get to if you want to really exploit. That's not a good word, exploit, no. But if you really want to take advantage of your own abilities, you do have to build a trust with yourself. That's going to be the hardest part, my friend. By far is the hardest part. And I can't say how long it takes. Maybe it just depends on the trust you have in yourself, the trust you have in spirit or the ethers or whatever you want to call it. There's a big tree. But I mean, I could talk for hours about the clairs and about psychic ability. This is sort of like an intro, I guess. So I think we'll end it there, and definitely put in the comments section, what is your clair? How long did it take you to trust it? Do you trust it? Is this all hogwash to you? All your opinions are valid and important and wanted here on this channel. So be sure to check out the blog, the writings, the articles that I make on my website. I'm also on Substack. There's only a few on Substack, so just check out the website. You'll be fine. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and doing all the things that you do, because you're beautiful and I love you. So have a good one. Peace.